So today I'm sharing about progression of a codependent personality from the book by Beattie called Codependent No More. And she gets this from Fat is a Family Affair. So the early stages is someone's often born of a dysfunctional family, learn to care for others as a measure of self-worth, and fail to cure parents, so will cure the over-under eater or someone else. I'm using eater here because it's from the book Fat. From Codependent No More by Beattie, but from Fat is a Family Affair, specifically. So we're talking here about someone who abuses food, and I certainly relate to that in my upbringing with my parents, but you could say drinks, drugs, smokes, gambles, addicted to the internet. Okay, so find someone who has an eating disorder, like over-under eating, who's needy, so controls them, and begins doubting their own perception and wants to control eating to show decisiveness. Social life is affected, and they're isolated from community to help this over and under eater, or someone with a disorder. Obsession. Okay, so early stages, then obsession. Makes plans and threats relating to eating behavior. Judges self and feels the cause of eating, starving, hides food, attempts to control the eating, idle threats, nagging, scolding. Now remember, this is the eating of the other person, right? So having a battle with this person's battle. Trying to win over their inner demons. Shows anger, disappointment regarding the over-under eater's promises. Secret life. Becomes obsessed with watching and covering up and taking over responsibilities of the over-under eater. Takes a pivotal role in communications, excluding contact between the over or under eater and others. Expresses anger inappropriately. Okay, now we look at out of control. Makes violent attempts to control the eating. Fights with the over-under eater. Lets the self go physically or mentally. Has extramarital affairs such as infidelity, workaholism, or obsession with outside interests. Related illness, drug abuse. This could be ulcers, rashes, migraines, depression, obesity, self-tranquilization. Becomes rigid and possessive, appears angry most of the time, and secretive about home life. Constantly loses temper and becomes sick and tired of being sick and tired. Adult children of addicts and narcissists often feel isolated and afraid of people, especially authority. This includes adult children of troubled people, not just with the titles addicts and narcissists. Observing ourselves to be an approval seeker, losing identity, feeling overly frightened of angry people and personal criticism, often feeling like a victim in career, personal relationships, and feeling like an overdeveloped sense of responsibility, which makes it easier to be concerned with others rather than the self. And I'm going to switch now to I. I'm saying our or whatever, but I'll say I find it hard to look at my own faults and my own responsibility to myself. I get guilt feelings when I stand up for myself instead of giving in to others, and I feel addicted at times to the excitement, where I judge myself harshly or confuse love with pity and tend to love people that I can give pity or rescue. I have low self-esteem and tend to be a reactor instead of actor in the past. I wrote this when I was working on this, probably 3 years ago or such. Such a kind of approximation. Often feeling abandoned in the course of relationships and tending to find it hard to express feelings and including joy and happiness. Now relating. There's detachment, non-rescuing approach to people, not controlling the object of attention, with directness, paying attention to ourselves, working a program, a practice, becoming undependent. There's this balancing of the passive and the action, the giving and receiving, and we choose and behave, initiating, maintaining, and discontinuing relationships. Good things can and will happen if we allow, and we can connect with freedom to goals and dreams, to face newness and struggles of growth. And this is relating, right? This is not addiction or codependency. And something important to talk about is anger management. So, and I'll end with this. We burn off the anger energy. There's the courage to trust God. We have to practice patience because waiting is an art. And whether it's working, organizing, dancing, cleaning, playing, outside, activity, gardening, building, these discharge stress. We don't beat ourselves up for feeling angry or others. We don't get hurt, not getting hurt, not hurting. We can deal with the guilt. We get rid of the unearned guilt. It doesn't help. God will forgive us and doesn't judge us as harshly as we judge ourselves. And it's common when we start to work with anger that we start to see it happens very frequently, like a kid with a new toy, because we're learning a new way of coping and being. It's a process, practice, refining and settling over time. So don't get discouraged if when you're working with anger, you start to see you get angry a lot. We can also write letters we're not going to send. If I could feel angry about anything, nobody would ever know, and it wasn't wrong to feel this way, what would I be angry about? And actually, I said I was going to finish with the anger, but I want to finish, the last section, which is rescuing and caretaking others' responsibilities. It enables others to not help themselves or suffer the consequences that would help them grow and mature and integrate. Their thoughts and feelings and decisions, their behavior, their well-being, their destiny, and their growth. This includes doing things we don't want to do, or saying yes when we mean no, or doing something for someone though they're capable and it would be appropriate for them to do it for themselves. Meeting people's needs without being asked or before we agreed to do so. Doing more than our fair share of work after our help is requested, and consistently giving more than we receive in a particular situation. Fixing people's feelings, doing people's thinking for them, speaking for another person, suffering people's consequences for them, solving people's problems for them. Putting more interest and activity in a joint effort than the other person does, not asking for what we really need or want or desire. It looks friendlier than it is. It assumes incompetency and victimness of a person we're helping, then we get upset that it was an illusion that got us to waste ourselves. It's not love and compassion and true helping and kindness, where our assistance is legitimately wanted and needed and we want to assist. It brings discomfort, urgency, pity, guilt, self-righteousness and anxiety, the saintly selfness, awkwardness, extreme responsibility and fear, a sense of being forced or compelled or feeling more competent than the other. It's mild or severe reluctance to do anything and blaming for our position. We get to feel temporarily needed, though, when we take care of ourselves by letting others live their life. But we can take care of ourselves by actually letting others live their life. We don't make decisions to control others. It's okay to follow the linear effects of not caretaking as a way to detach and make peace with outcome. In other words, if we don't take care of it, we see what happens. We're allowing things to go as they will and face the results as would naturally occur without our attempts to fix things or people basically to control. Once we free ourselves from this role, it relieves the martyrdom, the people-pleasing, the sacrificing, our own happiness, selling out, which is actually a dishonesty. And with that, I'll stop here, and we'll continue tomorrow with other similar kind of good stuff. All right, bye. Have a good day.